Welcome to Profiles in Eccentricity, a show about weirdos. With your hosts, John Fahey, Aaron Peter, and Matt Brousseau.
Hello, folks. Welcome to Profiles in Eccentricity. It's a show about weirdos, doggone it. My name is Johnboy. It is Johnboy time. I'm your host, John Francis Fahey. Joining me as ever... Man. Oh,
it's all coming together.
We'll just refer to you as Michael Skeeton for right now.
Okay.
Aaron Joseph Pita.
That's me. Happy to be here. John, how are you?
I'm good.
To my right, your left.
Yes.
The winner of the Schmegma Millions jackpot.
Oh my God. Somebody, a listener told me they wanted us to refer to him as the Angel Gabriel.
The Archangel Gabriel?
Yeah.
Well, we already had Gabriel, so...
Gabriel, God damn it.
Isn't that gay? Yeah?
It does. It's really good. His name's Matt Brousseau.
Handsome Matt
Hello.
Brousseau.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi there. Hello.
Hey.
Oh, okay.
Steve Purdom and Cooper Mulholland got married, folks.
Oh my gosh.
That's great.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. I think your invitation's in the mail or something.
Yeah, it must be one of those supply chain difficulties because of COVID.
Congratulations to them. We love you guys. Super cute pictures.
Aw.
Very, very nice times. Matt, you and I are going to be performing in a show of sketch comedy.
Yes.
Would you like to speak about that?
There's a narrative. We have to remember lines and everything.
There's a narrative.
Yeah, there's a narrative.
Yeah.
So we have 3 shows, 20th, 22nd, 24th. It's called Time Flies, The Assassination of JFK.
Yes.
And it's at the Broadwater Theater.
Part of the Fringe.
Yes. It's
Fringe.
Edinburgh? Central. The Hollywood
Edinburgh
Central.
Fringe?
No. It's the Hollywood Fringe.
Well,
You just show up and you're in it.
outskirts.
Yeah. Far outskirts.
Upskirts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 shows, June 20th, 22nd, 24th. We'll probably put some ads about it on
Yeah,
the
post.
socials there.
Make a post.
Yeah, we'll make a couple posts. But if you're in the greater Los Angeles area, you want to see Matt and I do our first acting ever in sketch comedy.
That'd be great.
And you like humor about the JFK assassination.
I love crackpot theories.
This is the show for you.
Even if you're in the lesser Los Angeles area, which honestly
Is most of
you
them.
are.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Oh, wow. You can see Aaron Pete if
I'll
you're
be
there on the right
I'll
night.
be there in the grassy knoll.
I was going to say, I immediately, because you have a white t-shirt on, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, God, he's going to be Oswald.
That's right.
There's grass on the knoll.
In Oswald Cobblepot.
Oswald.
Shooting with my umbrella. Whoa. There was the umbrella
That's
man.
right.
That's right.
And Oswald was in the,
Yeah.
and then the,
Didn't that umbrella man have like a
Chico
monocle and...
I think and a waddle.
Yeah.
Just questions for the Penguin.
Where were you on the night, the day of, whatever,
November 22nd?
Dallas?
Yeah.
Dealey Plaza?
Well, gentlemen, the time has come.
It's here.
Okay. Well, see you later.
Hope you clean up. Morris Day,
Yeah.
time,
Oh, yeah.
all of them. They've come.
The time has come.
Yep. The time has come.
Oh, God.
This isn't rude.
Oh.
Tell me what you gentlemen remember about a certain Canadian crack-smoking mayor.
The mayor of Toronto?
Well, there's so many. I mean, where to start? There's
Yeah.
there's
a jolly
Saskatchewan,
fella.
1975. Saskatoon, I mean.
Really?
No. And there's Rob Harper. There's Harper's entire reign as prime minister.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was smoking crack the entire time.
Oh, no. This is
Stephen Harper.
This is at the city level.
I know.
Really quick, just before I want to give a rest in peace to former friend of the show, Ted Kaczynski.
Oh, God. Did he love the show?
I think
He was
one
listening
piece
to
of
it
media
when
he was
he
able.
died.
Yeah, the episode ended and he just.
Yeah.
But yes, this is it was I think the mayor of Toronto,
Rob Ford.
Rob Ford. Yes,
His brother is mayor now, I believe.
Right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he saw what former mayor of D.C., was doing Marion Barry back in the days, like, hold my beer, hold my crack pipe.
Hold my crack pipe, yeah. So if that guy can get reelected.
Hey.
Yeah. I mean, do you remember much about that time?
I remember he was caught smoking crack on tape.
Talking about smoking crack on tape.
He was generally pretty shit as a mayor, from what I remember.
Man of the people.
Kind of like it seemed like one of those local guys that probably had like all of the ins.
His brother is still council.
Okay.
Yeah.
Counselor.
Oh, and he's the premier of Ontario.
Huh.
Ah, okay.
Yes. So
Family business.
And the king of crack.
well, so his brother wrote a book, and
If my brother did it.
and that's obviously very sympathetic to him. His former chief of staff wrote a book that is less sympathetic. And then there's just the various police reports and timelines.
Matter of public record.
Yeah.
Videos.
But
Eyewitness accounts.
Mission statements.
his whole story is just kind of like really interesting though, in the way of like he is a proto Trump in a way of being the populist, conservative populist. But he was also like a guy that like actually did stuff.
Yeah,
You know
he
what I
seemed
mean?
like he was truly a man of the people to
He really was.
his downfall.
Yeah.
And let's give the listeners and viewers at home a timeline. What is this, like 2005?
When the story like the notoriety breaks,
his reign and subsequent.
he's elected to the mayor in 2000.
Okay, good year. Good year.
Excuse me. Wait. No.
No, still a good year. Was it
No. That's when he was elected a councilman,
Okay.
and then he's elected 2008, I believe.
Got
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Really cracking his way to the
Oh
top.
no, shit. I'm sorry. 2010.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say it did seem.
And then it's a fucking roller coaster, though.
Woo!
Yeah, that's crack.
He was 10 years, 2010, as just a very popular like local assemblyman,
Okay.
city council, whatever.
Okay.
And then we just go through a couple of real crazy years real fast.
Gosh.
Cool.
And he was like from pretty further afield, politically speaking,
Okay.
than the usual fare in Toronto. And it was also kind of like that he was sort of looked at as like a dumb hillbilly too.
Yeah, right.
So it also had like some of that populism behind it as well, where people are going like,
He's one of us.
yeah. And also like
I'm a dumb hillbilly.
just like, but like that the establishment is going like, well, it can't be this guy,
Right.
But he it's no fucking accident. He's really actually like a very smart, shrewd politician.
Yeah.
And while he like becomes a wreck, there is a part of me that likes him along the way.
Sure. He was very matter of fact and unapologetic,
Yeah.
and that for better or worse was and sometimes is still refreshing.
Yeah.
Depending on who it is.
Sure, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I do remember this period of time. Not very well, but this was, the Daily Show was at its peak, so it was like they had fucking tons of shit on him.
Yeah.
As this slow motion train wreck happened live.
So he's born in 1969 in Etobicoke, Ontario.
Etobicoke.
It doesn't look anything. It doesn't sound anything like it's spelled.
Got it.
Okay.
But that is what it sounds like. And he's the youngest of four. Doug, his older brother, that he would kind of, basically have by his side through the whole thing. He's the oldest. Then there's his sister Kathy. Then there's Randy. And his parents are Ruth Diane and Douglas Bruce. And Douglas was, going to kind of like, everything's in the dad's shadow. He starts up with a partner. He starts up this Deco labels and tags company.
His father?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that becomes like $100 million a year business
Stickers.
to this day.
Stickers?
Yeah, and like just stuff on like the stickers on your produce, the stickers on anything, like just
Smart.
just a label guy, and turns that into $100 million a year.
Canadian. So
Yes. And he's all about customer service, right? and this is like what's going to lead to Rob being like, you answer every call, and just like a really shrewd work ethic, and it gets to the point where he would take visits to Japan to go like tour other like labeling places just to see like their work efficiency.
Smart,
and then
yeah.
come home.
Dude, these Japanese people are crazy. We gotta start smoking crack to keep up with these fucking robots, man.
But yeah, so it's like that kind of spirit informs the family a lot, you know? And his dad is also interested in politics, and he was a progressive member of the provincial parliament from 95 to 99.
Papa.
So that's like
Family business.
right before Rob is going to be council. And he wants to, young Rob Ford wants to be a football player. His dad,
American football?
yeah, his dad has the money to send him to camps like with the Redskins and stuff like that.
You mean the Washington Commanders?
Correct, yes.
The Washington First Nations?
Yeah.
Here in Canada?
The artist formerly known as that team. And he
really did get into character, though, because whenever I see him in those crack videos, his skin was red.
Yeah.
Like this fucking delicious Budweiser chelada.
Yeah, he goes to Carleton University in Ottawa, studying political science, and he makes a football team, but they're just like having him warm the bench the whole time, right? And I'm thinking this kind of breaks his heart a little bit, because then he just leaves school and goes to work for his dad's company, right?
So does he graduate or just?
No, he doesn't graduate.
Oh.
Yeah, and he goes and becomes CFO in basically no time of his dad's company.
Sure.
But
This guy never sleeps.
I do buy that he was probably really good at it.
Yeah, sure.
At the very least, it was
It's in his blood.
He was imitating his dad's work ethic.
It's in his lungs.
It's not a stretch.
And this is probably where also like he becomes another one of those guys being like, businessmen should run government.
Right.
And slashing budgets and all that kind of shit. Seeing things that are wasteful. And, that like is a populist thing. It is going to be a thing that's going to work on people to a certain extent, where they're just going, listen, I'm going to get rid of all this stuff, but I'm immediately going to turn it into more money in your pocket right away. It's not as if I'm going to like cut spend and then it doesn't mean shit to you.
Right.
It's you can see the value of it being like,
it sounds good.
yes, but also,
And if it works, it can be good.
right, yes, but it does have the real life effect of putting more money in your pocket right away. So it's hard.
Right.
It's easier for people to like fall for it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So yeah, when it's time for him to like talk about why he didn't go to school, he would claim that he was asked to come home to run the business. Who knows? And then he was also saying he was helping his sister Kathy, who was getting over a heroin addiction.
Oh boy.
So, God, seems like things are already pretty
Not ideal, sure.
pretty wild, And
He was helping her get over it by doing it for her.
It's a real family, man.
yeah.
Keep it in the family.
In 1996, he starts dating Renata Brezhniak, who he went to school with.
Renata Brezhniak.
Yeah.
Any relation?
To
Anyone?
Anyone?
yeah. And she has
Exotic.
Yeah.
she has two children from her first marriage. And
All right.
in 97 he runs
That's good.
he runs for the council for the first time, and he's got nothing behind him. You
And
know
he's
what I mean?
28. 29, 28, 29,
Yeah,
something like
Well,
that.
he's got money behind him.
Well, yeah, you can't bring that to elections in Canada.
But he does have labels.
Ah, he does have labels, right.
So that is really the thing, is that it becomes his trademark for the rest of his life to always have like magnets and business cards, and
No
gives it
shit.
to every single person he meets. Everybody.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's smart.
And
But tell us a little bit more. There's no are all elections publicly funded in Canada? Is that or at least there's a cap on
and there's an individual donation. There's a limit on
no super PACs under that fucking bullshit.
what the individual can give. But later, like when it comes to something like the mayoral, which by the way is the biggest election in Canada.
Was the Toronto mayor?
Yeah, because it's a citywide thing. Those people are broken up into districts, and that decides who becomes the prime minister. So technically, Trudeau gets less votes than a crackhead.
Really?
Yeah, straight up. Straight up.
More people vote in the Toronto mayoral election?
Yes, because it's citywide. So it's actually, the mayor of Toronto is the 5th most important political office in the country. But it's actually the biggest election period in the country.
Wow, that's interesting.
So Rob Ford getting there
it's a big deal.
is a really big deal. And especially because, he really has what are his beliefs. It's later on that then the far-right established parties in Canada are like, hey, this guy might be a useful idiot.
Right.
But by then, he's already sailed to the top on his own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's with this kind of populism. And it's just, in 1997, when he first does go, it's just knocking on every fucking door. It's just going everywhere. And then, once he gives you the card, it's his home phone number.
Fuck.
Okay?
It's like Mike Jones when Mike Jones dropped that rap album.
Right. Yeah.
So then it's his home phone number, right? And then all he is like, he's treating it just the same as deco labels.
Yeah.
He's going,
hello.
He's going, just answer the phone call.
Rob Ford here.
Trust me, I like to talk.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to do a little John on the family dime.
I met you guys tonight, right?
Yeah. And so he starts what are these call logs. And it's like, okay, you call me. You'll go to my answering machine. Like you can't have everybody answering the.
Right.
It's his home phone.
Yeah.
Renata's gonna lose her fucking mind. You know. But every call is gonna get logged. It'll go on the answering machine.
Call me.
And then it'll be like him or another assistant is going to log the call, the person's name, and what their issue was, and then he's gonna call them back, and he just does this with everybody forever. And so, like, this already is in Etobicoke. They're going like, hey, the councilman is like very reachable. And so, he comes in 4th when he has no business coming in 4th in 1997.
Right.
But he's already started building this network.
Yeah, a grassroots movement.
Were a lot of those calls from 1-800-GAY dude?
No, that was actually his number.
He will have some problems with his gay constituents eventually.
Oh, damn it.
But yeah, this
It's not the crack.
this way of doing things, it's really going to serve him, because like I'm saying, like he's coming from nowhere. They're kind of looked at as hillbillies, and the political elites are also kind of going like, he's a fat fucking rich kid that didn't even graduate with a bachelor's.
Right.
Took over his dad's sticker company.
Bench warmer.
Yeah. Well, his dad's still around. You don't forget his dad's also in government. But yeah, he did become CFO, whatever. And so, but the whole time, all of this saga is going on. You also have to look at all of these characters as being active members of the Deco label company, which is $100 million Canadian a year company. So while all of this is going down, just keep in mind that is
they're running the empire.
They're also
Succession is going on.
which is like a huge headquarters in Chicago, New Jersey, and Toronto. Like it's a massive multinational company. And it's not going to play into it. I'm just saying, keep in mind,
it's going on.
It's going on.
They have day jobs.
Yes. Yeah.
And night jobs.
They do. So yeah. Etobicoke and they are English immigrants. The grandparents, by the way.
You must
Ford.
Yes. And so yeah, the first run, and then he goes again It will be 2000. But in the meantime, his sister Kathy, heroin addict, her former common law husband, which means what? You have to live together how long for that to happen?
In Canada, I don't know, but I think in certain states, like if you
Like
share a roof for 10 years,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, you're de facto married.
Gotcha. Okay. But in Canada, it's like 7.5 then.
Yeah. Yeah, they get a sticker with it.
Yeah.
So her former common law husband, Ennio Stirpe.
I'm sorry.
Ennio Stirpe.
Oh, like
No,
Ennio, like an Italian.
Yeah.
I'm good, thank
And like Ennio Morricone.
Yes.
And he's
I see.
Stirpe
Yep.
and Renata Brezhniak.
Brezhniak, yeah.
Yeah. But this is Kathy Ford's former.
Okay, Paramore.
So this is and he's the father of her son. He comes at the house she's sharing with her new boyfriend and killed him with a sawed-off.
Okay,
Jesus Christ.
he went to her house
Yes,
with her new boyfriend, and he killed him.
You killed him.
Ennio killed her new man.
correct.
Anyone else?
No, just him.
Okay, well,
And he was charged with manslaughter.
Oh, that's the worst type of slaughter.
Man's laughter.
Yeah. And then in '99, this is around Valentine's Day. He's in Miami.
Oh,
Rob Ford
Rob Ford is, okay.
with Brezhniak.
what are they doing down there?
International
It
politics.
seems like they might have been doing some partying because
That's why Messi's going.
he gets pulled over at night for driving with his headlights out. They said he got
Not
out.
off, just out.
They said he got out of his car and threw all of his money in his wallet on the ground.
So your money's no good here. Why not? Well, it's Canadian.
Yeah, first off.
Refused a breathalyzer. The officer found a joint in his back pocket.
Oh, God
Sick.
forbid.
That thing must have been squashed as fuck.
And at one point, he just sticks his hands out in the cop's face and goes, "Go ahead, take him to jail." Like to cuff me.
Yeah.
So did they? Did it work?
He was arrested for refusing a breathalyzer.
Oh, okay.
The cop said he smelled strongly of alcoholic beverage.
And NBO.
The marijuana charges were dismissed. And so he marries Renata 2000 and becomes stepfather to Stephanie and Doug. Doug. And so then he goes again for Ward 2, Etobicoke. He had ran for Ward 3 before that. That's where he lost.
So he just change addresses, runs for ward.
Well, he's actually from Etobicoke, so it
But
seems...
what's the wards?
What's the wards?
Yeah, like districts.
Yes.
So like, did he have to move? Did he have to go move across the street to be?
I don't know. I don't
Just
know.
put a couch on the cross.
But I know that I know that he's born in Etobicoke, so whatever. But
Maybe he just had more stickers in Ward 3.
He did live in what was like considered throughout this whole thing. He's in like, it's like Millionaire Row kind of like houses, but it's like his is the shitty little one story. So, and I know, people throughout this whole thing are gonna like hound him at this place, but people also did note like this is the beginning of a rich area, but he lives in the most modest house by far. So he gets the endorsement of the Toronto Star. The Toronto Star is the biggest paper in Toronto, and Toronto News has 4 daily competings. So it's, kind of a big deal. And it's also going to show you why the media is so dogged in going after Rob Ford, because they're all competing against each other. So they kind of do some shit where you're kind of like, okay, come on.
This is just to sell papers.
Yeah. And also, because this guy is kind of like Chris Farley meets Chris Christie, as Laura Crawford said.
Nice.
There's a part of you
Regular.
that is like,
Regular Chris Kringle, the way he answers letters.
yeah. Well, yeah. But there's also, I think, a thing they get right away where they're going like, they know that you feel like you're in over your head, and this guy's gonna be fun to poke. We know he loses his cool. His face gets all red.
Yeah, there's a fucking flop sweat.
He's gonna sell papers. You know what I mean?
Jumping through fucking coffee tables.
So he, the area is actually over 50% immigrants, South Asian, dominantly.
Ward 3.
Ward 2, this is Etobicoke. And the area is known for gang violence.
Oh.
Is that right?
That is right. And so right from the get-go, he kind of gets into like
Gang violence in Canada.
I know, dude.
Just goes against everything that you
it's just
see on Nickelodeon.
it's a hockey game that gets out of hand. That's all that is.
They're pretty racist.
Yeah.
They throw bananas and shit. You ever see that at hockey games?
No.
Oh, dude,
I've
you're
seen that soccer game.
You're fucking horrible ass sport. They throw fucking banana peels at black players and stuff.
In Canada?
Yeah, and Europe.
How did we get here? I will put my head down for 1 second. What?
No, I was filling the time.
Vamping.
Yeah.
Vamping, talking about how gang violence in Canada seems anathema to what we've been programmed with via Nickelodeon, etc. It just seems out of place.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Toronto too. Like I said,
It's a big city. It's a huge city. There's going to be gangs there, but like,
Yeah.
what do they sound like?
So there's also I don't know.
Get out your wallet, fool.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to do this, but
Give me your wallet, hoser.
They had like six.
shit, it's the mountain police.
They had
Break out.
6 murders in 2000, which sounds like a lot for Canada.
6
murders.
murders.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Violent society up there.
So yeah, but it's still a working class area too, and there's there's still there's a lot of to Muslim immigrants and stuff, and so that also means that there's like generally a lot of those older people are going to be conservative.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Just no matter what country they're from, it's like it's going to be a conservative area, you know. And also when you have a higher crime rate, it's going to be a conservative area, right? So. He had previously lived there, and he moved in 2000 prior to the election after his marriage to Renata, and in 2001 during the budget deliberations, this is where he got known for starting to speak out about shit, right?
Okay. So like during the debates?
And he was just like. They were going through several $100 million budget shortfall, and they were gonna have like a 32% tax increase, and the government of Ontario was like gonna have to shift like delivery of services there and stuff. Like it was just a fucking huge mess. And so when Ford gets in there, he's going like. We got a fucking lady watering plants for $80,000 a year
Here in the parliament or whatever.
And he starts talking about he's like, look at this thousands and thousands of dollars retirement dinner and he just starts calling out numbers in the assembly. And so he makes enemies immediately.
Right.
But also people are like, working class people are doing their fucking head in when they're finding out these statistics he's laying out where and then meanwhile his thing, also he's a rich kid, but he's also saying he's like, I pay for that shit out of my salary on what I make as a.
I'm so down that I buy crack. I don't even buy coke.
Yeah. It's kind of really true.
Why pay more?
Savvy consumer.
And he's got like the good looking suits, for instance. But
they look like shit on him.
3-day suit program.
It kind of.
Yeah.
It helps the image in a way. He never allows people to put makeup on him in interviews. Right. So he's always sweating.
Yeah.
And people are kind of going
blotchy, fucking gin blossom.
And I think people were just kind of like, I know that guy.
Yeah.
And plus he's funny, right?
Yeah.
But he's driving himself to work.
Yeah.
And there's just not especially for a guy that's, now been rich for how long?
There's not an air of pretension.
There's none. And he just keeps answering phones meanwhile. And then being like, hey, go fucking help this lady out. Like she's got a tree down in her yard.
Yeah,
and she's 90 years old. And so then he would sometimes go out to a lot of these calls himself and help out somebody with like a flooded basement.
Right.
He's doing all that shit.
Right.
And then every call is logged, right? Mm-hmm. And so, he just keeps making it happen.
And every log is goosed.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. But so he takes up this thing, but he's making enemies, and I'm pretty sure it's, this whole thing is like kind of like to make dad proud sort of thing,
Isn't it always?
Yeah. Because, I think his dad was like a guy that like believed like, in serving, and he also just thought like, I can run a company well. I think I can run government well,
right.
Which is not always the case.
Right.
But you can see the pluses.
He did follow in both of those footsteps.
Right. Yeah. So he's he's passionate and he debates things and he's just talking about this is waste, this is waste, this is waste. And then when it comes to shaping what is going to be like his political outlook, all the way later when he's done 10 years of council work and then he's running for mayor and then they're going about, they're doing polling like for his like political strategy team about what are the causes people talk about. He's going, I don't need to pay for that. He goes,
they call me.
He's like, I've been getting calls for 10 years. He's like, I can tell you exactly what the people of Toronto want.
Yeah.
Because then later when he's fucking with other people in other constituencies and he's like, then he gives the card to people that are out of his district.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And then he goes to their house and solves their problems.
Oh,
And that's really fucking people up.
Yeah.
So now people really hate him.
yeah.
Okay?
I'm doing your job better than you are, and I don't even have to.
Yeah. And he's just going like, he's like, hold the fucking phone on a tax increase. He's like, let's look at the money we're spending right now and let's see what we can do here, And so, if somebody fucks with him, he's just going, what about this fucking $10,000 Thursday night retirement
Gala
dinner?
event for fuck all.
The fuck is that?
Right.
On the taxpayer's dime? Are you shitting me?
Right.
And so the media is like already like, this guy is, we kind of love and hate him now. Plus he's shrewd and he's making moves.
Yeah.
It is like a real.
He's a bit of a vigilante.
Yeah.
Like within an oxymoron, but he's what would you call it? A maverick,
Yes, definitely.
Sure.
a Top Gun.
Sure, yes. But also, I mean, bringing up the $10,000 dinner, yes, that sounds like it's a lot of money, of course, but like in the grand scheme of the government money, that's like telling us that we need to, we need to take less plane trips to save the earth. And meanwhile, it's the giant companies that are doing all of the damage. Like,
Sure.
We're not going to save the.
Yeah, but
we're not going to solve climate change by us taking.
right.
less
But
plane
how many
trips.
times in how many districts is that $10,000 dinner happening?
Right.
And then how many districts have to go without electricity because.
Right, but it's not because of the $10,000 dinner. That's not going to solve the budget. That is
No, but also the $10,000 dinner in itself is accomplishing nothing.
Yes,
And,
yes,
and that's
sure.
his point, right?
Yes.
Is like, what is
But
the
it
point
all-
of this dinner? I get enough phone calls that I know how to spell. I can name the streets where this $10,000 could be spent better.
Sure.
But your point is not incorrect.
Right.
But when I think when you are confronted with the reality of like fucking all these phone calls about potholes or lights out or streets with whatever, and then you see, so often the people making the rules are so removed from the downstream effects of them.
Right.
And he seems to be a little more finger on the pulse, and he's like, this serves no purpose.
And also, he's a finger on the pulse with the poorest people.
Right.
Like, his district, don't forget, is one of the shittiest. So when
Wait. Not the one with the $1 million houses.
no,
not where he lives.
no. But
But you can go, what? How else could we allocate this to be useful?
Sure. I understand.
How many potholes does $10,000?
And it is a lot easier for the public to understand than
Yes.
obscure financial rules.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, and monetary policy
Yeah.
and the thing is too
Quantitative
is that
easing.
when like later on, and it's genuine, like it's really genuine, his care, because he doesn't got to go move any trees. He doesn't got to bail out any basements. He's got a $100 million company, but he really does give a shit. So like later on when he's mayor, one of the guy that wrote his chief of staff, he gets off the phone with some woman and he goes, and this is like in the middle of like a bunch of scandals and stuff, and he's like, we need to get the municipal authorities on this, blah blah blah, and he's going, Rob, we don't have time for this right now. He goes, there's more important shit, like we got to address these, and he's going, that woman hasn't had electricity or heat for 2 weeks. He's like, nothing is more important than that.
Right.
So
Except that pipe. Pass that fucking.
yeah, except that
Turn
thing
that
I
camera
want
on.
right here. Okay.
This is electric.
Yeah, send her this.
But so yeah, he immediately makes waves. Immediately doesn't make friends. Some counselor tells him to go on Prozac at a certain point.
Fuck that.
Probably a pharmaceutical company guy.
Yeah, lobbyist.
Yeah.
Ann Johnson proposed giving him a Neocon Award of the Day.
Ann Johnson?
Her name was Ann Johnston.
Who's that?
Some sort of
Some counselor that he pissed off.
neocon of the day.
The day.
He argued against spending money on the suicide prevention barrier on Prince Edward Viaduct and instead spending it on rounding up child molesters who are the main cause of people jumping off bridges.
Okay, well, that's
Misguided.
debatable.
No, I don't think that's debatable.
Do you think it's all those child molesters that couldn't fuck a kid?
Yeah. I saw
God damn it.
My life's work.
Fuck it. Goodbye, cruel world.
I'm a bench warmer in the pedophile industry.
Hope the kids float down here.
Maybe I'll be saved by some kids.
So this is what he proposed to each counselor's $200,000 office budget. A cut to each of them. Money for travel to conferences, ending city limousine usage and club memberships.
Yeah, that definitely shouldn't happen.
And he said if we wiped out the perks for council members, we'd save $100 million easy. So that shit does add up.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Suicide prevention. Getting rid of that.
Yeah, it's
not
just,
good.
Yeah, I mean, like it's a kind of a sunk cost too. If like it's a suicide prevention on the bridge, it's what, like a fence.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a sunk cost. Let it go. Let it stay.
Yeah.
You you're gonna pay to remove it. Come on.
Yeah.
No.
You guys are gonna fall off.
I think it was about installing it, whether or not to. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should install that. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, I think people find a way. You know, suicide finds a way.
Death,
but you
death
should-
finds a way. Was that Jurassic
You
Park?
should make it harder.
Sure.
And you should also improve life so that you don't,
Yeah.
want to do that. But there's always going to be some fucking.
Well, also
some coward.
They can go to America and get a gun. Kill themselves.
just cross the border. It's cheap.
Yeah.
Let the Americans deal.
Yeah.
he does, well, I'll get to that later. So he's saying stuff like he only claimed $10 for his first year, expense wise, at $4 for his second. I mean, he's like, all this office budget stuff is self-promotion to benefit yourself. Why should the taxpayers have to pay for it? It boggles my mind.
Well, that's easy for him to say. He's a fucking label company.
Yeah, exactly. He has the money to do it himself.
Right.
And
So
he
he
is
should be-
spending.
he
He
should
is
be.
spending it, which is at least he's spending. He is. It
Yeah.
seems that he's spending his own money.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it'll get far more ridiculous. Like when it comes to campaign events and stuff, it ends up just being him just shelling out his own money.
Well, it's nice to put your money where your mouth is. And your crack pipe.
Put your crack pipe where your mouth is.
Cause like they'll do like a big 4th of July celebration, like, and have like
In
I'm
Canada?
sorry, what?
no, sorry, not a 4th of July celebration.
Cinco de Mayo. They do a big Cinco de Mayo.
Boxing Day or
No.
Boxing Day is a thing.
Boxing Day is big there, no, but it was I can't remember. It was something in the summer, but they would do these huge things, and it was just like.
Yeah.
Beer, food,
Sick, dude.
Then there'll be like a bunch of like bands and stuff playing.
Stickers. And
Canadian almost.
And it was like,
Independence
just,
Day.
come down, it's free kind of thing,
Yeah.
Canadian Queen Dependence Day. Oh, they got Charles now.
Now, but
Charles
not
in
that back
charge.
then.
No, yeah. You put them on their money now.
So 2002 municipal budget, Councilor Giorgio Mamaliti
Cool.
got into Mamaliti called Ford a goon.
Nice.
a
good.
goon?
Yeah, good hockey
Coming
phrase.
from Mamaliti? All right.
Ford called Mamaliti a scammer. It got heated to the point where he called Mamaliti a Gino boy.
A Gino boy?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
really dumb racial epithets?
yeah. You like a pizza dude.
Yeah, but you're down at the Bowery.
He called Mamaliti called it a racist remark, filed a complaint with HR, and
And Ford said we're cutting HR.
Yeah.
3 counselors said they heard the insult and he denied it. And then he said they were liars.
Of course.
Yeah. What do you expect from a bunch of fucking wops? Those are his words, not mine.
They don't say that in Canada. They say Gino boy.
Pam Conwell.
Grease balls.
Pam Connell, a counselor, complained about testosterone poisoning in the chamber.
Oh my God! Somebody put testosterone in the chamber.
This is supposed to be a lethal injection.
Oh my god! It turned all of our female members men.
These members.
John Barber from the Globe and Mail had talked to him outside the chamber with Ford, and he said, "That's T-Pain." He said outside the chamber, "I am not a racist. Anyone who calls me a racist is going to face the consequences." And Barber goes, "You are a racist." 2003 election. He endorses 12 counselors on the council instead of the 24, and
he endorses the idea of having 12 as opposed to 24.
Yes.
Got it.
And he was saying, and his political handlers are going, "Why the fuck would they do that?" And he's like, or why do you want that? And he's like, if you get rid of the offices, he's like, you get rid of the extra spending. And he goes, at the same time, you use the politicians' own selfishness of gaining a bigger seat to propel their career even higher to Parliament by winning a bigger amount of people and then having that whole apparatus to launch them to the next point. So it's kind of fucking brilliant.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's pretty smart.
It's really smart. But he's like, it'll be a victory for the council just to save that money and then still have,
by preying on the the political hopefuls' hubris and ego.
Yes. And what's the word I'm looking for?
Ambition?
Ambition. Thank you. Very, very good. Right?
Thank you. I can read your mind.
What's he thinking?
Don't ask me that.
Oh, chill.
Puking in my mouth just thinking about it.
Oh, that sounds.
He's thinking about blasting buys.
Oh my god!
Is it a workout thing or
If
porno?
you play your cards right, it will be.
He missed that one. Didn't even hear me this time. Fucking asshole. It's a really good joke, everybody. Blasting buys.
So there were
Blasting buys.
it was the gym themed porn you came up with?
Yeah, it was a workout. It was a male erotica film called Blasting Buys.
What is that based on again?
His
I
life.
made it up. Oh, biceps?
Like biceps.
Well, yeah, I really blasted buys tonight.
Very good. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So this AM radio station in 2005, they have a reporter make after hours call about reporting a pothole, and Ford is the only one to respond to it like in person.
So he's on the AM radio host goes, we're gonna fucking call
Every district. We're gonna call every district
and
see,
live on air.
Yeah, no, and then they just wait for the responses. You know what I mean?
It's not. But he didn't answer live on air.
No, because it was after hours too.
Octubo, you're on. It wasn't like that.
Yeah.
Dikembe Mutombo, you're on the air.
So then he's got this thing in 2006 where he speaks out about giving $1.5 million to help prevent AIDS.
Speaks out against it.
Yes. And
Well, you take down the suicide
Yeah.
wall.
No, he was talking about not putting it up, the wall.
Yeah. But still, you don't put that up, and then
He's like, guys,
people with AIDS
listen,
just
if
jump off the
If more
bridge.
people kill themselves and more people die of AIDS, it'll be less people on the dole.
That saves us
It saves us this much money.
we don't have to do medicals.
But his thing is like, he's going like, listen, he's like, they're not giving $1.5 million to cancer. He's like, you know what I mean?
He sees AIDS as a disease of poor moral character, as opposed
He's
to
saying, he's like, listen, he's like, if you're not gay, you're not sharing needles. He's like, you're not getting AIDS. He's like, that's as simple as it is.
right.
And, that's
It's not that simple.
no, it's not. No, it's not.
But it's
But he's also going like,
it's a simpleton's logical view,
Yeah.
which you can't argue with.
yes,
But
it's
in
also-
his view, it's wildly insensitive.
Yes.
right.
It's all, but it's $1 million. I mean, I think
Yeah.
$1 million into AIDS prevention goes further than $1 million into cancer research,
Yeah,
because
Yeah.
cancer is a fucking Rubik's cube that
Yeah.
AI can't hack yet, but it's $1 million into prevention of AIDS can go a very long way through simple measures.
Yeah.
yeah.
Pay for things like needle sharing,
Gay conversion
needle
therapy.
exchange. Yeah. Not needle sharing. Needle exchange.
Needle exchange, condoms,
Yeah,
etc.
yeah. Condom sharing.
Yeah, condom sharing, needle recycling programs. But yeah, that's where I think that's where his like I get, for lack of a better term, hillbilly logic falls short.
Well, and he's like, so behind closed doors, he's very much like, he's like, I'm not anti-gay at all. He's like, there's gay people that love me in my district.
Yeah.
Some of his best constituents are gay.
Well, but the thing is that like, it is true for him. Like he's going like, he's like, I answer the phone for everybody. You know what I mean? And he's not
Even
wrong.
the gays.
But he's also kind of going like, I just don't see it as government's place to do that sort of thing. And he's going like, he's like, I don't want a pride parade, but he's like, I don't want a Santa parade either. He's like, I don't want any kind of parade on the government's dime.
Right.
You know, he's going like,
Bring joy. No.
he's just going like, I just don't see that as what we do.
Right.
You know?
I mean, he's committed to
And he's
it.
also kind of going
Silly
like,
mindset.
meanwhile,
He sounds way more American looking.
Yeah.
but yeah, and but amidst this thing too, is you also have to realize like, yeah, sure, it probably plays into some of the hillbilliness, all of this stuff, but also I think he's actually going behind it all, like from his ward to downtown, where like the city, like, council is and stuff. There's kind of like a big gap, and there's like this thing where there's a huge transportation problem, and people are now like working like 3 hours, living 3 hours out of the city and having these huge commutes, and so that's a big thing that he's like getting a ton of calls about, and he's kind of going like,
Bridging the public transportation gap.
he's going like, we got age-old trolleys, and then we got like shitty bus systems, and he's going like, I want subways,
Right.
and he's going, so for everything he sees,
Quiznos, whatever.
he's just going like, I see it, everything else is like something stopping, getting this kind of thing done,
Right.
which matters to people. A lot of people are miserable. So I don't think it's just him frivolously being like a dick.
No.
No. He has these financial beliefs.
Yes.
But it's not funding AIDS research or prevention.
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 Not just prevention. And that money,
That probably saves.
it probably saves money,
Yeah.
especially when you have government-funded healthcare.
Yeah.
100%.
So that $1.15 probably saves 10.
Oh, I don't think he's right about this at all.
Right. But it is just something that
I'm saying like, I don't think it's just him being. It might play well because, like I said, there are conservative people of all different
Yeah. No.
backgrounds.
I don't think he's being a dick. I think he's just wrong.
Yes, I do too.
But
I do
it
too.
probably does play well to his constituents.
Yes. And like, and so then he's got a problem with bikes, man. You don't like bikes. Yeah.
He doesn't like bikes.
Doesn't like bikes.
Great.
But does like public transit.
Yeah. So he wants them just off the road.
Of course.
He's like, I just want them having like their own thing.
Like what?
Like,
In the sky.
Like bike paths off the road.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Whatever. He says they were built for buses, cars, and trucks, not for people on bikes.
Very unfamiliar with the history of roads, but yeah.
I was gonna say, I think there's a lot more people on bikes.
I think
back
roads existed before cars.
Yeah.
But
And
I mean,
bikes, too.
Having a dedicated bike lane is not a bad idea.
He did propose taking them just off the road, which I don't think is terrible.
But then you got pedestrians getting hit by fucking bike messengers in fucking downtown Toronto.
Well, it's also you could
one
also
of them's
say,
got a dirty middle.
but you could also just say it's a new expense too.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Right. So it doesn't really,
He's starting to go personal here.
Yeah. Right.
He's like, if you have
Bikes, man.
all these gay guys on bikes
there
riding for the bridge.
could be phone calls of people yelling about bikes.
Yeah.
Because
And then the phone line turns into like a Yelp comment page where it's like you're getting squeaky wheels.
That's right. Yeah.
Sure.
I was gonna say, like, the people calling in to complain about bikes, they might be cranks.
Listen to C-SPAN when they call in and see what kind of fucking maniacs you get.
So yeah, they he didn't want them on
Not on my roads.
he was so during his campaign for mayor, then he starts like advocating against these bike lanes that were installed. They're already there, like, but he
Some cost, pal.
Mm-hmm.
that led to the first protests when he was governor, but we'll get to that in a minute. The mayoral election was, a huge fucking swing for him, right?
2008 now?
That would be 2010.
Okay, got it.
And, he was, just kind of ridiculed from the get-go. There were some other, more polished politicians going against him. But, through the 10 years of the call logs, they realized, we've got phone numbers for, over half this city.
Shit.
And so during the whole campaign, he's really calling everybody, saying, please vote for me. And people are going, wait, is this really you? And he's going, yeah, it's me. I'm Rob Ford. And then along the way, they're also finding out that people fucking love him because they remember the tree he moved and the basement that got bailed out and all that shit. And and they realize there's a whole team here that's very much on this guy's side, and they're really gung ho. And they got to the point where 3,000 of them came out and worked for free on election day. Just because they fucking love the guy.
Watching polls, making sure the right people vote.
Mm-hmm. No bike lanes to the poll.
Nope. It's an unfair advantage.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is some of the personal stuff that was happening before the election. The parents were in Florida again in 2005. Kathy had a party. Her boyfriend, a convicted drug dealer.
So now this is a new boyfriend who has not been murdered yet.
This is his
His sister's new boyfriend.
His drug addicted sister has a drug dealer boyfriend,
and his name is Scott McIntyre.
Now, how's she doing with the heroin at this point?
I would bet not good.
Okay, good. I mean,
okay.
You would think they fucking want to prevent her from
for her though to marry the dealer, that's
the convicted drug dealer during the party at their home called 911 to report an accidental shooting.
Oop.
Heroin?
No,
of bullets.
Canada, just like us.
They were in a fight and he unintentionally shot the top of her head off.
I'm sorry.
Because it's better than intentionally doing it.
I think it's just skin, and she had plastic surgery to fix it.
Whoops! I accidentally shot the top of your head off.
Yeah.
Whoops!
And so she had to get like a tuck.
She had to get the Trump scalp resection.
Yeah.
And they accidentally sewed the hat. It's onto her, so she just has a hat on all the time.
Oh God, one of those Canadian mounted.
Yeah.
and so he went into
and the Jods.
He jumped into Rob's mom's Jaguar and took off before the cops got there.
I bet he did.
Yeah.
He called the cops on himself and then fled the scene.
Well, yeah, he's a convicted drug dealer.
Yeah, and
I guess at least
and accidental shooter.
Doesn't want her to die.
She didn't feel a thing. She was fucking higher than a kite.
Well, good thing she wasn't any higher. Would have taken the whole head off.
So stupid.
Doug Ford Sr. passed away in 2006. That might have been where a lot of his stuff started really kicking in.
Oh yeah, yeah, that makes sense. He does sound like a pretty big patriarch to him.
Yeah, and that was shortly after that he spoke out against the AIDS thing, I think, and
because his dad died of the opposite of AIDS.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been that because he did mention he's like I had to watch my dad die of cancer. It was terrible. He's like, there's no money for that,
Yeah, my sister does heroin. I don't care what the fuck she does with her needles.
Exactly. If it's an exchange, where does she get all the needles?
Yeah,
just keep giving them to her.
In April of 2006, he went to a Maple Leafs game, and he I think he was insulting people and cursing, and
nice.
He got out of there in a taxi. He called the taxi driver a packy, even though he wasn't.
Who hasn't made that mistake?
A couple.
He was trying to say taxi.
A couple sent a detailed complaint to the city of Toronto.
Did he take that phone call?
in 2008, at a council meeting, he said, those Oriental people work like dogs.
Oh my God.
I mean, and then he said, I mean it as a compliment.
I love dogs.
He did say exactly that.
Yeah, I think on that you got to cut him some slack on that one. It's just who he is.
But he also was really talking about like when his dad went to Japan. He goes, "I'd see guys falling asleep next to the machines,
fucking putting their face right in the sticker press."
He's all stickers. Guy's all stickers in his face.
Yeah.
Comes up looking like a Lisa Frank lunchbox.
Dolphin.
Goes right back to work. Right back to work. Right until he jumped out that fucking window. And I'll tell you what, they didn't have any suicide prevention bullshit out of those fucking Japanese factories. I'll tell you that right now.
But that was kind of the beginning of that same sort of relationship with the media, though, right? It's like very Trumpy.
This is
like,
how I talk.
He says something, the media goes, "Oh my God, can you believe it?" And people, a bunch of people go, "Hell, he didn't mean it." Like, why? It turns the press into the elite liberal press, and they're going like, "Look, we know what he meant. He means no harm." They look at him like an uncle. It's like,
right, which is much more true for him than it is for Trump, right?
Yeah, no, Trump is doing it deliberately.
Yeah,
and and with malice.
Yes,
this I think he really is just your drunk
uncle on crack.
Who means well.
Yeah.
And has maybe not like your beliefs all don't align, but he does. He is trying to make things better, even though some of his tactics or methodology is not sound. And whereas Trump is just being a cunt.
Right. Yeah.
And so you can, especially in Canada, you can see like how he can win the goodwill of people. I mean, these fucking Asians, these Orientals, they work like dogs. You know he means it in a positive way.
Yeah. It's true.
Right after that is, you should all aspire to be more like them.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's the year of the dog.
God damn it, what a maniac. But you get the appeal.
2008, the emergency services received a 911 call from his house. He was charged with assault and threatening to kill his wife Renata.
That's not good.
The Crown Attorney said there's no reasonable prospect of conviction because there was credibility issues with allegations by Ford's wife due to inconsistencies in her statement. He said he was glad the ordeal was over and that he and his wife had sought counseling. Some of this stuff will continue to play out, and it seems like Renata also gets pretty in the bag too. And so there's some phone calls that come out where like I think some people that were privy to like inside the house were sometimes like he was actually the more stable one sometimes, which is crazy to say.
Yeah.
But that I think kind of came from like the kids and even like cops that showed up and stuff.
Yeah.
Like sometimes he was calling out for help and stuff too. So Ennio Stirpe is out of jail in 2009.
Oh.
And he stabbed a girlfriend, blinding her in one eye.
Jesus Christ.
And then a few weeks later, Scott McIntyre is trying to
convicted drug dealer and head blower offer.
But he does have a Jaguar, which is cool.
It is
cool. even though it's not his.
Yeah. He's found
common law Jaguar.
If you sleep in it for 10 years, it's yours.
If you spit on it.
Tap, no races.
He was found trying to break into the mayor's bungalow, and McIntyre and Kathy had just gone through another breakup. McIntyre maintained
after the first one where he blew off part of her head.
Yes.
Wait, and so this is Rob Ford's bungalow. He's trying to break into. Okay.
Yes.
So Ford's mayor. No.
Well, it's a bungalow, huh?
For Berlusconi, it's just a bunga.
And the Ford family never stopped backing her up, Kathy. So like
family, man.
Yeah. They had
plus she had all the good connects.
They had she had an apartment built on the parents' property, and $1 million trust fund.
Canadian.
McIntyre was charged with uttering death threats, forcible entry, possession of heroin and cocaine. God damn.
Wow.
Well, you got to do the coke to stay awake to do more heroin.
He's like an RPG video game character. You know, he's got this endless inventory.
GTA, Toronto City.
So during this election, when he's becoming mayor, it's it's basically like I said, reduce the spending, get a subway.
You can't reduce the spending and get a subway.
Well, he was saying you can. And
you cut it in another area.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they originally are going to start out with a debt, and then he just goes to every department and says trim 10%. Mm-hmm. And that they think really starts off kind of the grudge war with the Toronto PD, which is going to come back to haunt him.
Yeah, that's you never. This is kind of a rule of thumb. You never cut the police department's budget.
Oh, I grew up in a fucking small town. Every year there's more money for a cop. There's 1,000 people in the town. They're like, we need another cop car.
Yeah,
and a margarita machine.
Yeah. I got a bazooka.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're already bolstering their budget with asset forfeiture.
Yeah,
they're already getting free shit and money all the time.
Man, and some of that's nice shit.
Some of them's good drugs too.
The best drug dealers in town.
Great resale value on that stuff.
Exactly. They don't have to share needles at all.
And there's no fentanyl in it because cops, when fentanyl hits cops, they die immediately.
Yeah, if they smell it.
Yeah, if they see it, they fall over.
Oh.
So
fentanyl-proof vests.
Just a pair of dark sunglasses.
So yeah, he's he beats the nearest opponent by 12%.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he fucking trounces everybody, and there's no parties in the mayoral election in Toronto.
I mean, in his family, there's some parties, dude.
Yeah.
That all changed when he got to the fucking bungalow.
But I think if there's favored candidates, some of the parties can throw weight behind, but he was just totally homegrown, and had all those fucking phone numbers and just did the work and kept going door to door everywhere, and it really fucking paid off. He fucking blasted, and
some buys.
He blasted buys, and he just blasted everybody out of the water. And it's as the race is progressing, they're also finding out regular elections in Canada, by the way, are 36 days.
Yeah, it's way better. It's way better.
The mayoral election in Toronto, though, is 11 months.
Yeah.
That's like America.
Because it's fucking big stakes, There's a bunch of debates along the way and stuff. And he listens to the guys that are coming in, like the chief of staff, whose book I read. And he takes on, he's pretty intransigent, on some stuff, but he would learn and adapt as he went. He became more of a polished politician. He didn't really like speaking in crowds. He liked one-on-one phone conversations and, hand-to-hand deals.
900 900.
But yeah, the night of the election, they sit down to watch it, and the first thing is Etobicoke votes for, Rob Ford. And then 8 minutes into it, they're like, Rob Ford wins. And they were ready for a fucking, an evening's worth of television.
Yeah.
And it was just
we're calling it.
Already you can call it after 8 minutes. Fucking crazy. And they went ape shit. And
it shows you how starved we all are for authenticity.
Yeah.
For better or worse.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No, that's true, yeah.
And you can be authentically authentic, like him. And then there's just the other end of that where it's authentically false authenticity, which is worse than just being a politician.
Yeah.
Really trying to be authentic is just so icky.
Yeah.
Right.
And you should be able to smell it a mile away.
And that's the thing, is that when they reveal the DUI from 99 during the election, it goes up 10%.
There you go.
Yeah, he's relatable.
Because then he comes out.
My brother's got one.
Yeah. And they're like, "Did you have a drug conviction?" And he goes, "No." And he's like, "Yeah, but you were arrested for drunk driving." He's like, "Well, you didn't ask me about that." And he's like, "The marijuana charge was dropped."
Yeah.
So
you asked about convictions for drugs.
Yeah. So this is kind of part of the bullshit that's gonna he's gonna start going through with the media.
Yeah.
Where it's some of the stuff that gets legs is just so petty that it really kind of throws more weight on his side. And they begin having this attitude of a wind in our sails from the campaign perspective, where they're going let's just take it and use it.
Yeah.
When the bad shit comes out,
right?
Which is
so very
Trumpy,
yeah.
so very early Trump.
Yeah.
You can see a very minuscule or miniature version of the Trump campaign, like just going like, just take it and be like, yeah, we did it, and it's like so there's so many press conferences with fucking Rob Ford coming out being like, I'm not perfect, and like all I can do is apologize, and
I got phone calls to make. Deuces, baby. What you guys tonight?
Yes, my refrigerator is running.
Amanda hug and kiss from Saskatoon. I need Amanda hug and kiss.
And so they get mobbed right away. The press is like fucking, they go ape shit. They can't believe it's so decisive. And they said they got on the platform and there was people like Ford Nation fans like were just going fucking bananas. They said during his victory speech, like somebody got forward and just put a lei around his neck, like while it like
aloha.
Yeah. And Rob Ford is like kind of like, what the fuck? And the chief of staff is like, get these fucking people the fuck out. And they thought that the stage was going to collapse because so many people were trying to get up there.
So cool.
And the like private security was like, dude, we've never seen response like that before. Like that's fucking insane.
Yeah.
And so Rob Ford has just marched to be the mayor of the city of Toronto, and
with a lei around his neck, and
we're gonna take a break and come right back, and everything's gonna be great.
Oh man,
mahalo.
Men, we're back.
Oh,
men, we're back.
So our boy Rob Ford elected to the mayor. 47%. Not exactly a lightweight.
not exactly. He's actually overweight.
He's actually quite overweight.
Yeah.
He's like 330 pounds.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. He's
Well, you can cut some of the budget there.
Canadian?
It's a big guy. Big guy.
The pants budget's through the roof.
How many kilos is that?
Stone.
So, he had an inauguration ceremony, and he had this guy named Don Cherry introduce him.
Yeah, Don Cherry, famous Canadian hockey face.
Announcer guy?
Yeah. Famous for doing, was it, Christ, he basically like was the
Special K.
the color guy for Tonight in Canada or whatever the hockey program was for like 40 years. Always railed against European players, said they were soft.
Cool.
And then eventually, I think he's done now after like he got
Some
so
racist
old
stuff.
that.
Well, the way he introduced...
But he's a famous, super populist.
Yes.
And super famous all over Canada.
So, this is the kind of crew coming out, and the way he introduces them is going to exemplify, how the good and bad of the Rob Ford. Because he goes, he introduces him and puts the chain of office on him. His remarks garnered some controversy because he started by describing how Ford had reversed a mistake of city staff cutting down a tree of a Toronto property owner for no good reason and then billing the property owner who suffered from Alzheimer's. And then he goes, "Put that in your pipe, you left-wing kooks." And then he talks about
Like, you think he said kooks and not something else.
No, yeah.
he's wearing a pink suit.
Yeah, he's a very flamboyant dresser.
And he goes, "I'm wearing pinko for all the pinkos out there that ride bicycles and everything. I thought I'd get it in."
Yeah, no
Bicycles. They hate
Pinkos, too.
bikes.
Haven't heard Pinkos
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
in 30 years.
Yeah, he's pink baiting. He's not even red baiting. Yeah, he's a large character in Canadian history. Don Cherry.
He's like Craig Sager.
Yeah.
He's wearing
No.
crazy suits.
Yeah.
Craig
Suit-wise,
Sager's-
yes.
Yeah, suit-wise, Craig
Yes.
So basically what you're doing, is like you got to get stuff through the council, right? As
Yeah.
mayor. And at first they're voting for his shit, even though keep in mind he fucking pissed a lot of these people off. But populism is popular.
Sager. He's the mayor.
So the first thing he's doing is just, the exact kind of thing why I'm saying like this stuff works politically a lot is he just goes like, it costs everybody $60 to register their vehicles. We're getting rid of it. And where are we getting rid of it? In getting rid of fucking fat that can be trimmed in other things.
So vehicles are they still being registered?
Yes, but
Okay.
the fee was now gone.
Okay.
So you just got $60 in your pocket.
Right.
Is it what happened to everybody in Toronto?
And 1,000 Canadian DMV workers lost their jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, it's
You can replace them with kiosks.
yeah, they can
yes.
become subway workers.
I mean, how long does it take to fucking ring up $60?
You ever been to the DMV?
Well,
Shit, man.
I haven't. I go to AAA. Hi.
Me too.
This episode is brought to you by the Automobile Association of America, California branch.
Mm-hmm. And also, you can do that online too.
You can do it online. You can do it at a kiosk at a Ralph's.
That's right.
Oh my God, yeah.
Done that myself.
So, I mean, trim the fucking fat, man. I don't give a fuck. Don't charge me based on my vehicle's worth for my registration. How about that?
He was out to privatize garbage collection.
Oh, is he mobbed up?
Well, the thing is that like they had garbage strikes like the year before, and people don't like a garbage strike.
No.
That's the point of a garbage strike.
I know, Matt. Listen, I'm just saying.
Okay.
There's a reason why these things happen. I'm not on the side of these things.
I know,
but
someone has to state it. Someone has to put it out there.
Yeah.
No, you can just listen to the story.
I'm doing both.
There's a reason these things work, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Right.
And so during that garbage strike, Ford had already privatized garbage in Etobicoke. Mm-hmm. So there's one district in the whole fucking city
Is getting their trash taken
covered in trash,
sure.
And they're going like,
See, it
okay.
works.
And then they're also going like, well, those guys have jobs that somebody's getting garbage picked up. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it doesn't smell and da-da-da-da-da-da. And so he just goes like, all right, well, here's what we're going to do. There's so many of, and he's just like really trying to reframe it like you can't have employees for life, like guys that just suck that are protected by their union. Mm-hmm. So I think he kind of fought for like, getting that kind of, he made compromises.
No tenured garbage.
But then also, he was just going like, all right, if you got this many part-time workers in the garbage, city garbage, he's like, let's just move all those part-time workers over to one district and then privatize that district. You know what I mean? So it was just like incremental privatization instead of like full on like let's take on an entire union kind of thing. So he was down to compromise. And he was quite good at it. He had no property tax increase in 2011, and then subsequent years during they were less than the rate of inflation. Huh. So he basically froze property taxes. Mm-hmm. He wanted to declare the TTC an essential service. So basically that...
What's a TTC?
TTC is their transportation, Toronto.
Uh-huh. And he wanted to declare what?
Oh, it's an essential service so they can't strike?
They can't strike.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, let's remove any sort of power from the workers.
He is going, like, too many people depend on it,
Yeah, that's the fucking point.
I mean, yeah, dude, I was like, I'm not on the side of this either. I'm all about the organized labor, but I'm saying this is what's popular and it's working.
I'm against the donut shop employees unionizing. And
I know, yeah, that's famous. I was thinking about that as I drove here. I was like, oh, there's Aaron's donut friends.
Associates.
Associates, that sounds mobbish.
A friend of ours.
So yeah, he's he's trying really hard to get the subway done, and he just keeps running into opposition. And as things go on with him personally, I think it becomes harder to get the other councilmen on your side, mm-hmm. and the media is really out for him big time. And so like it's really funny, and this is also extremely proto-Trump, but there is a time where somebody accuses him of coming down because he does volunteer football coaching. He still loves football.
Oh, right. That's right.
And if he's ever like leaving city business, he's going to coach boys football. Mm-hmm. And so there was a story that got out that was printed that in the Toronto Star that he had come down on the field and slapped some player and stuff like that.
Tough coach.
And eventually they caught up with the kid and he goes like, nah, man. He's like, I fucking hate Rob Ford. He goes, but he didn't do that to me. He goes, if he did that to me, I'd kick his ass.
Plus, a football player, you made me slap him on the helmet.
You get out there, sport.
Yeah.
But so he was like, I'm not talking to the Toronto Star, which is the main Toronto newspaper, a la Trump CNN. And
that's what Rob Ford said, or the kid.
That's what the kid said.
The kid, no, Rob Ford said.
Ford said.
He goes, I want an above the fold apology.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're done with them.
Right.
And the thing is that then the Toronto Star becomes the lightning rod for Rob Ford hate. Mm-hmm. And so like one of the reporters would meet with for a drink with Rob Ford's chief of staff, and he'd be going, he goes, is it still working for you? Because it's still working for me. Like, this is a successful thing for both of us. And I could see the exact same thing with Trump and CNN.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so fucked up. Like he's like, anytime I saw this guy, I'd be like, still working for you?
Yeah.
Still working for me.
All right.
It was like their little thing where he's going like, we just now
See out there.
It's wrestling.
Yes, but like it does become pathetic at some points, including with the media stuff. So during one of Rob Ford's things in his council stuff, he was raising money for like inner city football kids to get better gear, and he used council stationery.
Uh-oh.
Can't do that.
And the media came after him for that. And
God forbid.
And then he lost his baseball his football training job over those allegations. And then they said that put him even worse.
Yeah.
Into the
and this is the guy who like knows labels.
Yeah.
And stickers.
Yeah.
And stationery. I mean,
Yeah.
And now the press is labeling
Bush
him.
League move. I mean, honestly, buddy.
So he's like he's gonna be more in the bottle because now he's been taken away from like the thing he loves, you know. And people were kind of going like, once this story came out, they're going like, so you're talking about like $3,100 worth of stationery, and this goes like to the courts, you know, and voters are like even more mad that like you're spending all this money on maybe $3,100 of money of him trying to get money for poor kids,
Right.
Like nothing self-serving at all.
Yeah, it wasn't like trying to sell F-16s to Israel.
Right.
No, right. Yeah. But yeah,
But still, there is a line there.
These poor kids have no mouth
Sure,
guards. They're getting their bell rung.
But
Yeah.
it was like for the guy that only reported $4 on his expense report to then he used a little paper. It seemed incredibly petty,
Yes.
Right.
you know, and it just put more people on his side.
Right.
But he would be cleared. He would be actually found guilty, and then it was like they appealed, and if the appeal lost, he was immediately going to not be mayor anymore.
Wow.
It would immediately be like, is it going to be a runoff or somebody going to be nominated? You know, whatever. Now, also in 2011, police were called to his house to investigate some domestic disputes.
No.
His mother-in-law called 911 between 4 and 5 a.m., saying Ford was going to take his stepchildren to Florida against his wife's witches. No charges were filed.
His wife's witches?
Yeah.
She's going to put a hex on them? Renata sounds...
2012, another domestic disturbance, no charges. 2012, he did take out those bike lanes, and they cost more than double or possibly even triple to remove.
And the traffic got better, right?
Yeah, you can fit almost a third of a car in one of those bike lanes.
Exactly.
Domestic disturbance, again, 2013, no charges filed. But in March 2012, he did have a city hall party in his office.
Uh-oh. How much did that cost?
Yes, exactly.
He knocked down a staffer, insulted others.
Just playing football.
And then he went to the restaurant. According to a restaurant staff member, he did coke in the private room in the facility. And then he flailed around on the dance floor.
Cool.
And that's not illegal.
No, flailing is cool.
Yeah.
And then he took a cab back to City Hall and called the guy more racial slurs.
He's like, stay right there. I'll be right back.
And then he was wandering around City Hall after 2 with a bottle of brandy while shouting curses at a staffer.
Again, not
That's
illegal.
because of his wife's witchcraft.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm under her spell. And then the security took him to a vehicle to be taken home.
And what do you say to the driver on the way home?
I don't know, but the thing is that like, you got to think about how many of these things are happening and like aren't getting out because people still kind of like the guy.
Mm-hmm.
There's people in a lot of positions to be like, yo, and like they never say anything. So they don't find out about March 2012 Patty's Day in the press until November 2013.
Wow, that's good. Those are good group.
Yeah. I think a security guard had emails that were found describing what was going on.
And that was the party in the office?
That was the party in the office, yeah.
Where he knocked down a staffer.
Then went to dinner,
right.
danced, did some
Chopped it
coke,
up.
then went back to again.
Yeah. I think
it's St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
I think he was also like grabbing somebody and saying what he wanted to do to her and stuff.
It's St. Patrick's Day.
But also, she was like on the staff and she kind of knew how to handle him. And she was just like, "Shut up, go home."
Yeah, you're drunk.
Yeah.
Fat turd.
Yeah.
I like it when you.
Yeah, you know how to fucking round me up, toots.
But yeah, he's he's starting to spiral harder. It starts with the dad, I think, and then I think after losing football coaching is what his brother said really did it.
Yeah.
And then he was just going like, and it was totally from press witch hunt stuff, and some of it was total bullshit.
Yeah.
But also, he wouldn't come clean with like anybody even in his inner circle.
Right.
Like the staff would be like, "Okay, did you fucking do this thing, man?" And he's like, "No way, man."
Deny.
Yeah.
And then like,
so if I don't remember it, it didn't happen.
and then they said the guy that's chief of staff was saying like, he's like, I started to realize like, I started seeing his slurring, but then it's like sped up slurring.
Racial slur.
In speech.
Okay.
And he's going like, he's like, I knew there was alcohol hard at play, and he's like,
He was talking so fast.
I began to suspect that there was something else going on, and he's like, and then the tell was also that if he was sober, he called me buddy, and if he was fucked up, he called me brother. He called everybody brother if he was fucked up. He called, brother. Yeah, but yeah. Didn't really know, like, when this all started, but I think, like, it came out later from his sister, Kathy, that, like, right around the dad died is, like, he's using hard drugs behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Prescription pills, and then,
Red light district.
coke, stuff.
Yeah, he took the bike lanes out of the red light district.
Oh, fuck. There goes the neighborhood.
They tried, the staff tried getting him treatment, and, They found him, one time he was found smoking weed alone in a parking lot.
Loser!
Yeah.
Fucking bum.
He went to this Garrison ball with, was going to have like a bunch of, huge fucking politicians and stuff. And the staff were just like desperate to not keep him there. And he was coming down with his kids after he was partying in Chicago. And, they were just like, could tell on the phone. They're like, "Oh, he's fucked up. He's calling me brother. Like, please don't.
I'm his son.
Please don't come down here." And
Doug never knew when he was fucked up.
so yeah, he was incoherent, and he might have said something appropriate.
Well, that's coherence.
Inappropriate.
And so yeah, one of the event organizers asked him to leave. Staff got him out of there. In March, a former mayoral candidate, Sarah Thompson, while attending a social event, said she groped him.
He groped her.
Yes, that he groped her.
Okay.
Sorry. And she also speculated that he was high on crack at the time.
Wow.
Because when I went down there to grope him, there was nothing there.
So there, around this time, basically Toronto Star is like, we've got video that we know of where he's smoking crack on vid. And
Dude, this is like before, like,
this is 2013.
you can't like just take your phone and be like,
Yeah, no, you have to,
like a Sony Handycam.
Yeah. You need a guy holding a camera.
Yeah, there's like a boom mic guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can see him see the camera in the video. It's
Yeah,
bad.
I remember seeing this.
It's
yeah.
really sad video. Have you ever watched it?
Yeah.
It's only like a minute long, but it's like a guy where there's
hitting rock and hitting the rock and hitting rock
yeah,
bottom.
yeah.
yeah, it's like you can see the sun is coming through.
Always a bad.
And it's like, and he's far away enough from this girl that's sitting next to this guy that's filming him, because they know if they get their mayor on film, they can sell it to the media for more. But then they're like being really supportive and like, "No, yeah, you love those kids. It's not right," and like blah blah blah.
Here, do another.
Yeah, and
I love those kids.
and then he's going, I can't tell if that camera's on. And they're like, "No, it's not." And you see like that the video ends. It's really sad. Like, because the thing is that like outside of the family, like, people would say he didn't really have friends. Like, there was some high school football buddies and stuff. And so part of like, this weird, like kind of shadow team that's also guiding the mayor's office during this time is what his chief of staff called the night shift.
Ooh.
And he was going like, basically like after hours,
Ooh.
he's like, he would go home and start drinking. And then he would get on like basically like a conference call or hang out with all these guys
100 gay dudes.
that included like,
They do conference calls?
Yeah. Party.
old high school buddies. And then like, who knows? Maybe some sketchier people.
Yeah, we're all brothers in here.
And his, his brother really pushes him on a lot of stuff. His brother is much more pushy than Rob is. But Doug
pushes him into bad things.
Pushes him just like on like
issues?
like they're kind of like he sees himself as a co-mayor. And
weird.
And he's like clearly like Rob is a talented politician, but Doug kind of wants to be more. But also the staff is like, as annoying as Doug is by like getting this guy off track. When we need to get Rob under control, he's good at getting him under control. So they kind of see him as like a blessing and a curse. Right. And like also like they just like argue nonstop, Yeah. And fucking Doug would just like walk in the middle of meetings and stuff. Like he's not fucking mayor. He was elected to Doug's old seat in the council. So, but like he wanted like basically like his own entrance, And
with music and
the guy in a pink suit.
Yeah.
Ball bearer.
All right, you pinkos. Here comes Dougie, baby.
Here we go.
Doing the Godfather dance. Yeah.
But yeah, so he's So they're basically shopping the video to the media.
Yeah, it's like they took advantage of him, and he shouldn't be smoking crack, especially as mayor or just in general.
And he should know. I mean, he made his bed. Like he walked into that trap.
Yeah.
Like far too easily.
Yeah. But, they did exploit that.
They did, and it wasn't the first time. So, like, after he made the AIDS remarks, there was, like, a guy...
The AIDS remarks?
Yes.
Okay.
There was a guy that came out that was like, I know him, and, like, we're constituents, and, like, I'm a married gay man, and I have AIDS. And so Rob organized, like, a sit-down with him and apologized, and then... That guy during the race for mayor kept calling into radio shows and stuff as Dieter, Rob's gay friend. And then Rob was kind of going...
Dieter?
Rob was kind of going like, we put this thing behind us. I wish this guy wasn't... And then it became like speculation whether he was like being paid by another campaign to keep calling up being like, hey, Rob's friends with gay dudes, which isn't going to play with some of his conservative voters.
I see.
And then...
But we'll play in the general.
Yeah, that's true. But then also the guy records... he starts getting kind of threatening with like with the staff, and then he gets Rob on the phone, and then he's basically just like
this is Dieter.
Yeah, Dieter, and he's like, I'm by your house right now. He's like, I can see where it is. He's like, look, man, can you get me some OxyContin or what? And then like
little Dieter will ride.
And basically it's like he's on the tape going like, yeah, man, I don't know about that shit, but I'll see what I can do. So he didn't like agree to anything illegal, but he came incredibly close. Right. And so, like, at first people were going, like, we hear there's a tape. And he's going, nope, there's no tape. Like, and the staff are going, like, come on, man. Like, and they were like, yeah, you can see when he gets nervous and it's like he has tells when he's lying.
Yeah. He smokes crack.
He knows.
There's no tape.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Anybody have any tinfoil or a broken light bulb?
Hey, never mind. Just give me that light bulb.
Hey, how many pull-locks did it take to unscrew a light bulb for me to smoke crack out of? Right, guys? Brother. What you guys tonight?
We gotta get some of these Polacks off this budget. There's too many guys working here.
Never mind the Polacks.
So,
the phone's ringing. Went under gay, dude.
Yes, this is Rob Ford. So yeah, he's got all these things kind of swirling that are. I think the Sarah Thompson accusations were kind of like a bunch of staffers were like, we were like all over him. We would have seen it if it happened. But it was also like, you never fucking know, man. Right. And they're like, well, she was smiling and laughing. It's like, yeah, you can also smile and you're laughing your way to get out of a fucking dangerous situation.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a defense mechanism.
So then he denied live on TV telling that he wanted to have a female staffer give her oral sex, and he said, I'm a happily married man. I get more than enough to eat at home.
Yeah, yes. I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yes, that's, I mean, having to, deny that on live TV is not a good look, but, considering who he is, he handled it about as well as he could.
And it does seem like he does have enough to eat at home.
Oh God.
330 stone pounds.
Oh, by now it's probably more.
That's him.
I know. He's got enough to eat at home.
Oh, got it. True.
I don't know what his wife looks like.
I know. I thought you were going to ask very quickly in short
No,
order.
not interested.
Yeah. Okay. See how long that lasts.
Was she hot?
Well, I knew you were going to ask. I don't know. I didn't look it up yet.
She's Russian.
Because I knew you would
Oh,
ask.
Renata sounds. Renata Bugliosi or whatever.
Brezhniak.
Yeah, she seems like she's multi-ethnic.
She looks like a Brezhniak.
Yeah, but Renata sounds,
No Brainiac, more of a
Latin,
Brezhniak.
Yeah.
So here's kind of the thing is that like there's been like press conferences from like the chief of police that's going like, oh yeah, and we've heard a lot of stuff about Rob Ford out there, which is like not like it was very much
summer's hottest look.
No, and also just like it was clearly a thing where it was like they were going like, how much do they have of the tape,
right.
And what are they doing? Are they going to leverage it in case he insists on another 10% budget cut?
Right.
But it was like they might have actually just known that he was running around those circles and were like,
yeah,
fuck this guy. But
and they've responded to a number of domestic disturbances
and not done anything, not made any arrests.
Right.
So, his brother gets very conspiratorial in his book about all this, but also
the lizard people.
His brother was like, seemingly clueless about the substance abuse stuff, where I'm going like, I don't know how you can be the closest one to him and not know that.
Yeah, and also you have a sister who's a drug addict. Like,
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, it was kind of bullshit.
Willful ignorance or something.
But yeah, they
I mean, he would have called his brother Buddy when he was on crack. It's real flip it.
Yeah, well, they called each other Jones for some reason.
Because they're jonesing.
And no, they they had like this like in joke about like some music exec they had met when they were young, and he would pick up the phone and you go like, "This is Jones," and they go like, "Hey Jones," so they just started calling each other Jones.
Cute.
It is cute, yeah.
Until you have a drug problem, but yeah.
So during another hockey game, he's denied access to the director's lounge. He was recorded spewing profanities at the security staff. He just, now he's in re-election, and he goes into rehab during re-election,
So cool.
which is fucking nuts.
Politically.
It's a good political move.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he goes in for like whatever it is, 60 days. I don't know, and they just carried it like that. They're just like, yeah, from there's getting over some shit. He's trying to sort it
We
out.
all have our problems.
Yeah.
Some of you around the dinner table.
But like as soon as he gets out, he's sitting down with Doug and he's like, man, my fucking stomach is killing me. And he's like, do you want to see a doctor? And he goes, yeah. And he goes, that's when I knew something was wrong, because this guy doesn't see doctors.
Right.
Of course. He defunded all of them.
Yeah. I mean, they he just wasn't
They stopped writing him scripts.
330 pounds smoking crack. I mean, his fucking heart is like a fucking sump pump on an industrial level.
Industrial hummingbird art.
Hello, this is Rob. Yes, I am the mayor.
Brother,
This is a banana.
get it out of here.
Fruits? I only put labels on fruits.
That's how you
Eat
know.
'em.
That's how you know.
So they found out that he had an incredibly rare form of cancer.
See, he said you should have put that AIDS money into the
what
incredibly
he
rare
knew.
form of cancer.
Did have this incredibly rare form of cancer, and it was like it starts in like the tissue of intestines.
I can only imagine what his intestines were like.
Well, they said it was genetic. It wasn't like to do with his insane lifestyle.
Yeah.
I didn't help.
And they said basically Doug is going to take his place in the mayoral election.
Oh, God.
And he's going to go back to Ward 2 to running for election there.
Rob is?
Rob is. Yeah, they're going to swap.
Okay.
And then the media was kind of going like, was this the plan all along? And you're going like, nobody
the
planned.
cancer?
Yeah, like just really tacky shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad.
And they had this a lot of people like waiting outside his house all the time, and you'd be getting death threats all the time and shit too, like not just that guy Dieter or whatever, but like a lot of people like calling. So like, it's only going to increase your paranoia.
Yeah.
Then you're smoking crack.
Yeah.
But yeah, like one time they like there was this gimmick where like they had like a comedy show where this woman would dress up like like she'd have like armor on, and she'd be like a warrior princess, but she'd have like a sword, and then she'd come up to politicians and ask them a question. And so like he comes out of like to work. Yeah, he comes out to work one morning, and he's like, "What the fuck?"
Fucking Xena warrior princess is there.
And and so then he called 911 about being like, "What the fuck is going on?" And
I mean, bad comedy. You can call 911 on bad comedy.
yeah, but then he was kind of made fun of. He was made fun of in the press by like running away from a female comedian. It's like, well, it's a person in my driveway with a sword.
Yeah.
You know, like, come on. You know, I got kids in here. You know. So they just like had some kind of low blows like that that I was just kind of going like, man, fucking Canadian media is tacky as fuck, you know. But so yeah, he's got to have chemo, and in 2014 he's got pleomorphic liposarcoma.
Oh,
it starts in adipose tissue.
You know it's bad if it has that many names.
Oh, it starts in fat.
That's what adipose tissue is.
So it's not starting in the intestines.
Well,
it could be fat.
They could be the fat in your
Right.
gut.
So he had chemotherapy and surgery, and he said he's going to have a big one done on May 11, 2015 to remove his tumor. And he said he'd be out of commission for 4 months. And then at the family barbecue in 2015, he announced that they had cleared him of cancerous tumors.
That's good.
October 28th, though, he revealed that a new tumor was growing on his bladder.
Ooh, bad.
And then he said that the tumor had been found to be cancerous and consistent with liposarcoma, and based on a CT scan. And March 17th, 2016, they announced he was in the hospital with his family beside him. His chemotherapy treatment had not been successful. And they were just like... They thanked everybody that wished him well, and they set up like a get well soon kind of website to send just good vibes to the family, and they got 5,000 messages from people wishing them well in 2 weeks.
Wow. Not a phone hotline.
And so he died March 22nd at the age of 46.
What year?
Ooh, 46. Jesus
That's
Christ.
2016.
46.
Yeah.
Holy Christ.
Didn't look a day over 60.
No, yeah. Under.
No, he didn't look a day over. Yeah, he didn't. He looked old.
Yeah. Yeah, older than 46.
Yeah.
So the City Hall started a period of mourning. They flew flags at half staff. Book of condolences was started at City Hall. Chalk was provided for
He would
personal
have hated that.
A book of condolences?
Yeah,
Well, you know how much that costs?
No, come on.
Fucking on government stationery.
And they had 2 days of visitations at the City Hall with the Ford family, and they had a huge funeral March 30th, St. James Cathedral, and at the Toronto Congress Center, they had a big commemoration of his life, and he was buried in Riverside Cemetery, where his father was also buried. And Doug and Randy took over his share of deco labels and tags.
Yeah.
They in September 2017, Toronto Mayor John Tory proposed renaming Centennial Park Stadium after Ford.
No.
The city council rejected the proposed renaming on October 4th.
Yeah, might as well just called like Crack Pipe Emporium.
No, it's already a business called that.
I think his subsidiary.
Yeah.
Deco label.
I'm going to send you something here if you wouldn't mind playing it. This is one of my favorite things. I'm texting it to you.
Okay.
Here we go.
This is one of my favorite. This is like something that makes me laugh so hard, and like there's no joke.
Mm-hmm.
There's no joke.
Yeah, that's fine. Video?
It's just audio.
Oh, okay.
A lot of shit going on now. Damn mayor on crack. But damn, the mayor is on the pipe.
Chris Rock?
What kind of shit is that? The motherfucking mayor is on the pipe. That is the most embarrassing shit ever. Motherfucking mayor on the pipe, man. Motherfucker got caught red-handed too. Red-handed pipe in hand. Huh?
This is my favorite. I found that like.
Is that about Marion Barry?
That's about Marion
yeah.
Barry. Yeah. But I was just like, it just killed me. I found that like in a store, like used. It's like Chris Rock with a flat top,
Yeah,
leather jacket,
Sitting on
It's
a
like
bench.
20.
ripped jeans, and it's like he's not Chris Rock yet, but like he's getting there.
Yeah.
It's just keep saying the mayor's on the pipe.
That the setup is the punchline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But also, I don't know if you want to see him smoking crack, but you can see Rob Ford smoking crack. We have some video and
Let's do it.
and
Let's
some
do
pictures.
It. Let's get demonetized.
Let's get, this is copyrighted
Deco
content.
Corp. It's copyrighted Deco Corp.
Yeah. Scumbag Corp is going to come after us big time.
Oh God, it looks so seedy.
It's pretty bad.
That's why he wants to be involved in everything. He wants to fight everybody's battles. And it's going to kill you. Kill you. Don't do it. Your kids are important to you. That's what drives you, baby. That's what I love. That's why we love you. Okay? I don't know. Your children, your family, your kids.
Can't even make out anything he's saying.
Your kids who play football. That's what drives you. Family.
Drive with the minorities. I'm right wing. Excuse me.
You're right wing?
No, they say I'm just right wing.
Oh, yeah.
Radical guy.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm sort of.
Sure. Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah.
What the liberals then?
I'm not gonna leave back. Leave back back in that right now.
Trudeau right there. I like to get that Justin Trudeau and shove my foot as far.
He's smoking
Oh
crack
my
in the
God!
daytime.
Shove my foot far up.
I'm sure my I'll tickle his nose hairs with my foot up his ass because he's such a shit with the man. I hate Trudeau, man.
That
He's just Back on, bro.
Hello?
I was like, Amazon on that.
No,
No, seriously.
it's not.
It's night. Was that the camera's working night? Who's Elaine Basso?
I don't think
she's
it's
a problem.
night either.
I love you. I love you, baby. This is why we love you.
Yeah, she's buttering him up while she's fucking him over.
Yeah.
And so
It's all about the kids. That's what drives you. Kids, football, family, crack.
Yeah. Also, here's some crack.
So I think what happened was they started doing this extortion kind of scheme, but they were really just kind of like putting it out to paper, saying who would be the highest bidder. And then I think like the cops were like, "We're gonna go and get that." So they got a hard drive in like a raid.
Ugh.
But you're taking hard drives at a crack house, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it kind of is like, what's going on there? You know?
Look at a high level operation, man.
There's got to be video of fucking the mayor around here somewhere.
Yeah.
We know he loves crack.
What else is on those hard drives, dude?
Jesus
Do a lot of fucking bad music and art. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Got fucking Trudeau in a gimp suit.
Yeah.
What the hell is this? Never mind. Put it away.
Sorry. Yeah.
Hunter Biden under the bed.
Yeah. Oh God.
Can we show some of the other pictures?
Sure. Which ones?
You can go through the entire folder. We'll just kind of get a look at this character. So this is him.
What's the homies?
This is him with like one. That's like where they think one of the videos came from. Where he's smoking crack with these guys, maybe.
He's a man of the people, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, he really was though. Like
It's kind of like, you remember when was it Caligula?
Trump isn't going down
Caligula would dress up
yeah, as a prostitute.
and just walk down.
Or that was someone else.
Was
too,
it
I think.
Nero?
oh yeah, no, it was what's his name with Elagabalus.
Elagabalus, the sun god.
Yeah,
Just you know what? I'm just gonna dress up as a prostitute. And
just
go
a
out and get fucking-
normal trans prostitute trying to get railed.
Early version of that boss secret boss show or whatever.
Yeah, Undercover Boss.
Undercover Boss.
Yeah,
Undercover Caesar.
undercover trick.
Undercover.
I'm actually the emperor of Rome.
Oops.
All right. Well, don't charge me more.
Yeah,
Here are my new clothes. Oops. I'm
here he is,
naked.
pipe in hand.
Oh,
Oh God, he looks like a fucking shit.
So at first they were just saying like, well, we don't know what's in that pipe. It could just be weed, kind of
Right.
thing.
So it looks.
So like once like
pipe.
they're around,
Smells like burnt plastic.
like they would
Yeah.
just sit outside the office. The press would just be like in the lobby outside the office like all day once this shit broke. And then he did one of his things where he came out and he was like, "Have I ever done it? Yeah." And he's just like, I guess during one of my drunken stupors or, you know, I was like, I'm not addicted to it, whatever. And he's like, I'm like, sorry, you know, blah blah blah.
my bad.
And then one of the reporters goes, "Are you on crack right now?" And then he just leaves. Which is really
Good idea. I gotta go.
Do you want me to be?
Yeah.
I will.
Can we see some more?
Yeah. So this is a very tiny picture.
Yeah, of him partying with some guy, clearly.
Enhance. Yeah. He's looking bad.
Oh, there's the video. Okay, so that's all.
Oh, this might be.
Yeah. Play.
You asked me a question back in May, and you can repeat that question.
The question we asked you back in May? Yeah. Can you explain
the video didn't
what
You asked me a couple questions, and what were those questions?
Do you smoke crack cocaine?
Exactly. Yes, I have smoked crack cocaine.
When,
But
sir?
no, do I? Am I an addict? No.
When have you
Have I
smoked
tried it? Probably in one of my drunken stupors, probably approximately about a year ago. I answered your question. You asked the question properly, I'll answer it.
How many
Yes,
times?
I've made mistakes. All I can do now is apologize and move on.
Have you
I don't know what.
done
Oh, guys, okay. Can I just?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, please.
All I can say is I've made mistakes. And you guys kept referring to alcohol. There was a couple isolated incidents. There's been times when I've been in a drunken stupor. That's why I want to see the tape. I want everyone in the city to see this tape. I'd like to see this tape. I don't even recall there being a tape and a video, and I know that. So I want to see the state that I was in. But that's exactly it. That's a guy. I don't know what else I can say here. Okay, so I wasn't lying. You didn't ask the correct questions. No, I'm not an addict, and no, I do not do drugs. I made mistakes in the past, and all I can do is apologize. But it is what it is, and I can't change the past. And I can apologize to my family, my friends, my colleagues, and the people of this great city. I can't change it. So I told you, probably approximately, I'd probably saying it around about a year ago, but I don't know exactly. That's why I want to see. I don't even remember after some of the stuff that you guys see me, the state I've been in. It's a problem. So I want to get.
Are you on crack right now?
You on crack right now, dude?
I mean, he comes off very genuine and patient.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's like...
and honest about...
And then he lets them kind of show their ass, and then he cuts it.
Yeah.
But he's also like, he's talking, and they're like, they keep going, and he's like, can I finish the fucking
And the thing is, one of them goes in a crack house, and he goes, maybe.
They're like,
let me see the tape, and we'll find out.
Where did you do it? When did you do it? Where did you do it? I don't know.
And that was the thing too, is that like at first it was just like the Toronto PD said there was a tape.
Yeah.
And it was kind of going like, and he was going like, well, let's air it out.
See it.
Let's go. And like, let the public see it.
Yeah.
And because he was just like, is it a move?
Right.
Like, do they know I've been in some of those situations? And he's like, I don't remember a fucking tape.
Right.
But he was also right being like, what kind of moves are you making by not releasing it?
Right. Who was the chief of police?
Yeah. Yeah. And what are you're talking about it, but not releasing it. And so then the city council was like voted to like have him not be mayor, but like, you can't just do that.
Right.
And he was like, no, I'm going to be the mayor. And also I'm going to introduce a vote that all of you get drug tested. And they voted that down.
That's funny though.
Yeah.
That is very good.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, like, you know, overall, there is a point where I don't really hate this guy, and I cheer for him a little bit,
sure,
but then it's just a thing where you're going like, you know, like so many people, there's some hole in his heart somewhere where he was trying to fill it up with municipal love.
Yeah, somewhere along the line he was molested by a bike. And
thought about committing suicide.
He thought about committing suicide, spreading AIDS.
Yeah, he's still thinking about it, so he doesn't want any pesky fences in his way.
Yeah.
He can't climb a fence.
Yeah. He's forced to smoke crack.
Yeah.
And get cancer.
There's a thing about like the populist guy, and you see it with a guy like Anthony Weiner too, or even Trump, where the things that get them elected, that populism and that regular guy stuff is not tenable once you have the power. Mm-hmm. You can't be that wacky regular guy. Either
it doesn't. Either it's unsustainable, or the powers that be won't let you.
Sure. But that's what the narrative becomes if it's not working out for that guy.
Right.
That's how he fights back, is by saying they won't let me be who I am. But you can't. You don't have the same level of freedom when now you have, control over budgets and and jobs and the future of your city.
Also, the thing is like these guys, they get swept up in to new dizzying power because they're popular.
Exactly.
They're not just politicians, they're popular politicians.
Right.
And so that is like, the fame going to your head kind of shit.
Yes.
And then it enables this terrible behavior, whether it's sex or drugs or whatever.
Or, yeah.
And so unless you're Bernie Sanders, pretty much. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, most politicians.
I wouldn't say most. I would say...
I don't know, yeah.
Populist politicians? I mean, how many do you know that aren't wankers?
Oh, populist politicians. You're right. You're right.
Because, they get a hold of the zeitgeist, and then people are going, finally, and it's such a breath of fresh air.
And the human animal is not meant to deal with that, like, scale and scope
of adulation
and influence. Like, the animals, we're just not... We can't process.
Goes to your head or pipe or...
Yeah, up the boof. You boof it.
Yeah, you
can boof it too.
Yeah, but there was, it's got to be said, like, anytime there's these, like, guys that are these hired hands during the campaign, and he's finding out, like, 25 staffers in the outgoing mayor, he's like, I'm having 18, right? And then these people are going, like, in the family, in the night shifts crew, they're going, like, hey, man, the authenticity brought us here.
Right.
These other people are going to try to come in and shine you up like a politician.
Right.
And when they were, doing those things like, all right, well, we got they would understand, like, okay, he does have his own things that work, but, like, we need to work on this and that. And like I said, some of the time he would be amiable to changing, but he did never change for anyone, looking out for the little guy on a day-to-day basis. Mm-hmm. And he knew that's what got him there and was going to keep him there, no matter what else he did. Like one of the other times the media came at him was they just got a picture of him driving himself to work, talking on the cell phone, and how dangerous that is.
Seatbelt.
And he was just kind of going like, "Well, I don't have a chauffeur."
Right.
And like, these people have my home phone. Like, do you know they averaged 80 calls a day?
Wow.
No wonder there's so much trouble in that house. The phone's all just ringing nonstop.
Well, no, it was all to the house, but then it was logged there and brought to City Hall and all that. But it was just like one of those things that was like another thing that made the press look petty versus this guy.
Yeah,
where it's going like he's
outplaying him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's not talking to his buddy. Like he's talking to fucking Mrs. What's her name and
one dealer.
And he would get
one
mad.
dealer,
and he would get mad if somebody didn't have an answering machine. You know what I mean? Because he'd be like, well, now I got to call him back. You know?
What do they have, a bike? Probably out biking.
Maybe they
Give
jumped
me the pipe. I know no idea what the bike thing was.
Maybe they jumped off the bridge.
So bizarre.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's probably just because he drives so much. He hates people on bikes.
That's what he said, but also, I mean, it could have been a lot of people just calling and saying that shit too. Who knows?
Goddamn.
I don't think anyone called him to complain about the
it was big Canadian
wall.
Horse.
Yeah.
The horse lobby.
It's the
Canadian Mounted Police.
Yeah.
Taking all our jobs, eh?
Look at all these bikes where the horse is going to ride. Come on.
When are they going to put in like a Sibian tram line,
Oh.
That'd be a good idea.
Sibway.
Yeah. Subway. Yep.
Well, that's why I work from home.
Yeah. Also called the monorail.
Yeah. So yeah, like they had like old trolleys and stuff like that, and but he was just going like he's like, they just kept fighting him tooth and nail on something I think is kind of legit. Is just good, fast public transportation for working people, especially because of the being priced out of the city, but that city's still needing poor people to come in and work. So I don't think there's too many things here that are that outlandish in a conservative way, but in Canada, he's a far right conservative.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, advocating for public transit. Fucking right wing piece of shit.
Yeah.
Well, definitely, I guess a specific type because they were just kind of like being like, well, let's boost, you know, what's, and he was just going like, no, it's
recumbent bikes. Welcome to Toronto. We got weird bikes.
You can sit down while you ride.
Yeah. Take a load off, eh?
Take a load on.
But there was some stuff from his administration that was far-reaching in impact, and you know, in those initial couple of years, they were being able to show like, hey, we're taking the money we got, and we're not taking more of yours, and we're not bringing up the property taxes.
Right?
You're not paying. You know, everybody's paying that $60 to register their cars, and he's just going, no, anymore. You're not. You know what I mean? So, you know, he had some stuff that was he had some moves.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. And it was, you know, I'm sure like his brother seemed to be more the guy that would have had the sketchy accommodating rich people type stuff. Like he had a big remodeling, like you know, the fucking
bungalow.
No, the like the shoreline around the lake is like, you know, putting in one of those like fucking Ferris wheels like they have in London, shit like that. And you were going like, that sounds like some fucking.
There's a contract for a friend.
Yeah.
More people can jump from it.
You know. Whereas, you know, and I don't know, you know, obviously this is like, you know, big deal stuff that spans 15 years in Canada. So anybody that's listening from there, yes, I do not know the whole story.
Yeah.
But from what I've cobbled from the Brothers book and the Chief of Staff's book, and then just Laura Crawford helped me with a timeline.
Thanks, Laura.
Lovely.
On the news stories and police events. I was kind of like able to draw some kind of picture.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah, real character.
Major character, and such a preview of what was to come here.
Things to come.
Yeah.
It was fascinating.
And Bojo's out again.
Boris Johnson.
Oh.
He's out.
He's out. He resigned.
As a member of parliament.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they were going to kick him out.
Yeah.
But it's similar. Like, I remember when Brexit happened, and my brother and I were laughing, going like, these fucking idiots, and then Trump happened immediately after.
You can't skip Brexit.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, there's certainly no Canadian politician that's been more, you know,
famous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Trudeau. That end of list.
Pierre or Justin?
Justin.
More famous than Rob Ford?
Pierre Trudeau's wife.
Pierre
Trudeau's wife was fucking.
She's fucking cute, fucking Castro, man.
Yeah, so
Castro's his dad.
Yeah,
like that.
I do.
That's why when they met, he was like, "Son."
Oh,
he said, "Son."
Mijo.
It just, you know, without the cancer, it would have been just so interesting to see him running again. After everything.
Yeah.
After being like, yes, I smoke crack. Yes, I'm in rehab. Blah, blah, blah. And like, and just seeing how many people would actually stick by it and be like, yeah, no, dude, we're still down. Because like, it was also like Trump, the diehards were diehards.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, but they were also diehards because of something that personally affected their lives.
Right.
So it wasn't the same.
Not from a grift.
No, it wasn't from being like, I like the way that you're prejudiced against people. Yeah. It was being like, you helped my aunt.
Well, also, some of them like the way you're prejudiced against
but
people.
There's at least some tangible benefit.
Well, he was always adamant he was not prejudiced against people.
I know, but he still said things that some of his voters would like
dogs to a whistle.
Yes.
Right. But yeah,
he seemed like he was an equal opportunity bigot, which is cool.
I think, well, I mean, like, you know,
if you're gonna do it,
yeah,
you know, I mean, hey, you know, he was hanging out with a lot of minorities, and
yeah,
and he was going like, they say I'm this right wing guy, but it's like,
here I am smoking crack with all these blacks.
That was really what he was saying.
Yeah. That's what he was saying, and he meant it.
Yeah,
it's genuine.
Yeah, you saying it in the video.
Yeah,
I was like, what the fuck? But also, he specifically.
He said how they say I'm right wing. I take them under my wing.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Well, no, but he was saying he was saying specifically about the stationary thing.
Yeah,
it was football gear for inner city kids. He's like, I'm looking out for them.
He's
like, I'm looking for kids to get helmets.
Yeah.
in places that are too poor.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like,
they're worried about
getting them
the fate.
AstroTurf, so when they fall, it doesn't hurt as much. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like it was like he was just going like, and they're acting like I'm fucking like
a criminal.
The shrewdest right wing politician. And he's going like, well, no. He's like, I love every team playing football.
Right.
You know, so there's
especially those Redskins. He was wearing a Redskins tie in the video.
Yeah.
Of course he would.
Yeah,
fucking Chief chopping it up.
Yeah,
it was a good one.
Very good, John.
Rob Ford.
Yeah, Crackmare 2.
Crackmare 2.
Back to the pipe.
Yeah.
I was real interested. I'm sure you guys probably can illuminate me more about stuff. Maybe we can cover some of that in the Patreon.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to unpack there. There's a lot of great campaign stories.
Not doing crack.
The way he navigates a campaign that's pretty outlandish is wild because, you know, like I said, it's one thing when you're super popular just in your district, but then bringing like, you know, kind of, you know, he was kind of like charmingly amateurish at first, like when he first got in, like he was just going like, he's like, I would just see the way the guy I know sucks votes and just vote the opposite. And he's like, and then I kind of got my finger on the pulse of everything and like, you know, figured it out. But for the most part, it was always driven by just, he was adamant, I work for the taxpayer. You say jump, I say how high. Right. And that's why it's like,
what's it going to cost?
Talk to everybody.
Yeah.
Talk to everybody. And
he tried his best.
It is really sad, man. I mean, it's real sad, like, when you just see, like, him in that video and people taking advantage of him and all that stuff. And, you know, obviously, like I said, there was something in that inherent, you know, whatever that original family with the dad. There was some kind of thing where
and it seems like they just broke him. Life broke him.
Yeah.
And he maybe bit off more than he could chew. And then
felt lost without his dad.
Yes.
And the football.
And then his sister's head is half off.
Yeah.
And then the media and then the pressures of the job.
Yeah.
And that whole label company. You know, it'll get to you.
If only he was part of the No Labels campaign in the U.S. You know?
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Like, total animal for it. And like I'm saying, don't forget the whole time, you're on the board of $100 million company. So like, you're not the CEO, obviously. Like he can't be doing it, but you know.
Well, he should
like
focus
Batman.
on one
Batman.
thing. Yeah.
Runaway Enterprises. Mm-hmm. Out there fucking solving crimes on the street, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's Batman.
Rob Ford, Crackman.
Mm-hmm. I'm Crackman. I'm Crackman. Tell your friends about me. Here's some cards.
I met you guys.
The camera's off, right?
You guys know.
Yeah. I was really fascinated. I don't know. I hadn't thought about doing it before, but yeah, Mayor's on crack.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Marion Barry's next.
Marion Barry is definitely. I saw a great documentary on him. So he could be in the future the original crack mayor.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, always a white guy taking something a black guy did and making it more popular.
Yeah. It's true.
Very good.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. All right, let's.
Hey, Marion! It's me, your cousin Marvin. Marvin Barry.
Kids are gonna love
you know
this.
that new rock you've been looking for?
Oh my god.
You like that?
Yeah.
It's both a rock and roll joke.
I get it.
And a crack joke.
Crack joke as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Rock.
Chris Rock.
Mm-hmm.
And roll.
All right, let's get out of here, fellas. I love you, boys. Thank you.
You too.
I'm going to say goodnight. My name is John Fahey.
Marin Pita.
Rapper so.
Good night, everybody. We love you.
Night.